Good morrow, scholars. Welcome back to my little series on the Ninja Turtles and what color Kyber Crystal they would have if they were in a Star Wars setting. On to the one I consider the easiest to place would be Donatello. You know, he's probably the most, although his thought process and such is the most complex of the Turtles, I feel like he'd be the simplest to place in such a thought exercise as this. And I know how it sounds, but he was one of my favorites growing up. Like, it went, if I remember correctly, Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, and then Michelangelo. But it kind of varied depending on, like, what month it was, I guess. I loved the Ninja Turtles. That was really all that mattered. Anyway, if you compare Donatello to any of the other Turtles, but especially like Leonardo and Raphael, physically he's typically going to be the weakest in any incarnation that you happen to be seeing. Now, I know the 2003 cartoon and even the 1987 cartoon didn't really showcase a difference between them too much in like terms of physical ability. It's one of the things I liked about the 2012 cartoon over on Nickelodeon. It's that it really showed just how different the Turtles could be from each other. Add to that, it was just nice to get some of the old voices back. Anyway, I've digressed already. And when I came about trying to place Donatello, I took that into account because I feel like that's a certain attribute of his that should be considered. But more so than that, because of how less inclined for violence he is compared to Leonardo and Raphael, Michelangelo is kind of in the same boat as him, but, you know, for different reasons. I really feel like he would embody a Jedi consular ideology more so than anything else. Just because, you know, like, he uses his head, he's usually trying to be diplomatic. The only problem is, you know, they're all his brothers, so you know how siblings are. And he uses his head instead of like just physical force, like Raphael, or how to say this, like that animal cunning, like Leonardo would. Because, you know, he's although Raphael is a brawler, I consider Leonardo to be his superior in terms of like fighting prowess. You know, like a difference between a brawler and a fighter. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but let me know what you think. Also, just because it's Donatello, I feel like him having a saber staff with two green beams coming out would just look amazing. I need to find somebody who can like maybe draw these for me. I wish I had more to say, honestly, about Donatello. Half of this video was kind of me digressing without even realizing it. Pardon me. It's just, it seems so obvious that he would be a consular that I can't really think of any other like specific instances that would really show that, you know what I mean? There's just so much to pull from. Because, you know, consulars are very much about studying. You know, he's the most intelligent of the Turtles. They're more about seeking, like, that inner balance with themselves. And out of all the Turtles, I've always felt that Donatello was, like, the most centered. You know what I mean? Like, I get, sometimes it's Leonardo because, you know, he's the leader and he was picked by Splinter. Or you could make a case for Michelangelo because his carefree attitude doesn't let things get to him the way it would the other turtles. But if you go like purely from what we see rather than what we're told, I think it's Donatello that really lends himself to being a Jedi consular, not unlike oh shoot, who was I thinking of? Honestly, I want to say Qui-Gon Jinn. Like, I know that he was a really good fighter. Keep in mind, when he fought Darth Maul for the first time and last, he was 60 years old and he was still able to hold his own even when he was fighting by himself. And I really think that Donatello would get along really well with Qui-Gon Jinn. That would be pretty cool. Man, I need to find somebody who could like draw this comic or something. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I hope that it makes sense to you guys. I hope that even though I can't really convey properly why, I guess why I would choose him as a consular is conveyed pretty easily, but since it's kind of difficult for me to think of a way to like prove it to you, I suppose. It's a little underwhelming, but if you have any other ideas about what he would be placed as, who knows? Maybe you guys feel like he should be the guardian instead of the other two that I keep bringing up. I feel really bad because Michelangelo really only gets mentioned only in passing, rather than for the sake of teaching. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and until next time, goodbye everybody. If I think of anything else for Donatello, I'll put it down in the comments or into the description, but we'll see what happens.